Hi, everybody. We're tying the dirty hippie this evening. And if anybody on Zoom is having difficulty hearing, let me know. We do have a lot of people here tonight as well. Guys, we're ready to start. Okay, so Tiemco 5263, size 4, debarb the hook and then put a copper large hone in place. And the thread that they recommend is a Danville 3/0 monocord. And I did go out and buy some, and I really must say I do. Where is it here? I really like it. It's really nice. It's a little thinner than working with like a GSP thread or anything. I don't think you need quite that sturdy a thread, but if you have a tan thread in any color, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to start approximately 1/3 of the way back from the hook eye and start tying a thread base. Here we go. This is just a thread base to get things going and to lay down the other materials that we're going to be adding. Making anybody dizzy on it, just show every moment. Okay, so you're going to just pat just in front of the hook. And then you're going to leave the thread in the back. And then you're going to place your lead wraps. So there should be some. Okay, somebody rearrange it. Here we go. The thickness of the lead recommended was maybe thicker than some of you have in your kits. So you may need to put in more wraps. The whole point of what we're going to do is we're going to be wrapping forward, but we want to leave about this much room in front of that hook. Because if we don't leave enough room in the front, I'll show you as we get closer. The other materials, there won't be enough room for everything and it gets too crowded and rather frustrating. So go ahead and set down some wraps. I think Charlie Craven in the video was saying 12 or 13 wraps. What I did and have been doing is just setting a few wraps and then making sure I have enough clearance. I could probably do one more and then go ahead and break it off. And then you go ahead and then just want to mash down any edges that are sticking up. I brought my pliers tonight. Looks pretty good. Okay, so you're going to push the cone back up against your lead wraps. Oh, this looks really good. Everybody can see really well. And what you're going to just basically do is start some crisscross wraps over your lead, back and forth, just to cover it. Give it a start. And we're going to lay down either a layer of head cement or solarines or whatever you guys prefer once we get this secured. But the next part is a little interesting. I've never seen this method used, but it's kind of cool. Just getting that matted down. Okay, so now after you've laid down a few thread wraps, you're going to bring your cone back and you're going to cross your thread over in front of the cone. So it's in the front, wrap a couple of times, and then what you're going to do is reach around to one side. I actually have to hold my thread down. You see that? And then you're going to wrap that forward. What we're doing is we're securing the cone in place so it doesn't have any give. And then again in the front, back here, and then you're going to go do the same thing on this side. Give me if I have to put my finger on it just to get it started. So what you're gonna have is actually some crisscross wraps, but then you're gonna wrap right back up to the back of them so that you secure those wraps. Can you see what's happening at the cone there? It's, those wraps are now nicely compressed and it should be nice and tight there. Your cone shouldn't go anywhere. If you need to, you could do it again. Just bring it across. Go to the back and wrap forward. Just do it again so people can see what's going on there. And the other way. Does everybody feel comfortable with that? It's a little different. And Jerry, could you hand me? Whatever you have to glue, even super glue is fine. You're gonna want to secure this pretty well. I've got some solaries tonight. I'm using the bone dry. And we're even gonna put a little up in front here, but mostly you want to coat that so that it's nice and secure. Head cement worked beautifully. I've done that on some of these flies too, but I just happened to remember to bring my UV stuff tonight. Seal that in place. And again, up kind of in front of the cone there. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, so now you're going to bring your thread in front of the cone again, and we're going to lay down just a little bit of a thread base all the way to the eye, and then back about to the center.
Hey Meg, hang on there a little bit.
You bet.
I'm just trying to get.
There's a
my-
lot going on with this fly, so definitely just holler if you need me to slow down.
I'll get my UV stuff cured before
That's
we
okay.
move on.
Well, and we want everybody with head cement to have a chance to let it dry too. So no worries.
I've got this water stuff, which I don't like too much. And I got this UV stuff, if you want to use that, there's a.
I can't emphasize enough to make sure that you have plenty of room up here, and we're only going to use about half the space initially. So I kept making this mistake and I finished, I couldn't get the rest of the materials on. So just giving everybody a chance to catch up.
Anybody else need UV?
I have some here if anybody wants to borrow it. Okay, just put it up to me. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. It's again, just make sure that you don't put so many lead wraps up to the front that your cone can't be pushed. Can you see in the picture here?
It's like
I've got all that room in this front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
While everybody's catching up a little bit, the belly of this fly calls for Arctic fox. I have found a wonderful product out there that I've my friend who went to Iceland brought some back for me the first time, but it's a product called, let's get this in front.
It's not backwards, for change.
It's not backwards. That's what Jerry is saying over here. It's called Finn, F-I-N-N, raccoon. And it comes on a zonker, which is great because it's really nice to work with, but it has the softness and flow. It's very, very soft.
I'm very new to this, so don't expect.
Were you
gonna put that
So it's a
on?
nice alternative. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use tonight.
Okay,
We're not at that point yet, but,
okay.
or
I'm gonna pass it. We found some
take
stuff
what you need.
in Bob Webb's materials that I think is gonna work just right.
Fine.
It's the right color, and it's not a thin raccoon, but it's maybe something you saw.
I don't know if anybody can hear, but Jerry brought a very clean sample. We don't exactly know what it is, but it might be, it's a collection from Bob Webb, and it's very white and very fluffy, and he said it might be some kind of a dog. Yeah, I'm not using that, but it is very soft as well. I think Jerry's gonna make a pet out of it. Yeah, the fin raccoon is lovely to work with, and it's easier to get a hold of than Arctic fox, so.
Oh, and it's just.
No, I mean, there.
There is some white Arctic fox here too. Yeah, that's it. Here nor there. How's everybody getting along? How about other Zoom folks?
Okay, what is this stuff we're using now?
I'm good.
Not yet. I was just showing them a couple of different alternatives for the underbelly of the fly. There's this product is called Fin, Fin raccoon. Or Arctic white fox. This is nice. Or pet dog. I think I heard somebody talking.
Yeah, Matt, could you hold that back up again?
The Fin raccoon,
Yeah.
no worries. This is actually, the problem is we have the camera in the way, and lights in the way. It's called Fin raccoon by Hairline. It comes in a multitude of colors. I found some online today that is actually tan, which is really nice too. Was that enough time?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. For some reason, my hands are too cold and I can't adjust anything on Jerry's laptop, so just scream at me if you need something. And I don't know if anybody brought with them. I know it is only mentioned in the video. If you have a dubbing brush,
Can you just sub a toothbrush for a dubbing brush?
absolutely. Somebody just asked if we could sub a dubbing brush, a toothbrush, anything that has some soft bristles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting a multitude of questions here. Can we substitute? Absolutely. Anything to brush the fibers back? And you'll see why in a minute when we start. The next thing you're going to need is your 3 to 4 strands each of gold, pearl, and copper flash shaboo. Some of your kits out there have crystal flash and the copper. That's all we had. But actually it looks quite nice too. So everybody ready to proceed? Yeah, that we tried to have everybody before class try to get them out and get them somewhat even.
And what even?
The strands of flash shaboo,
Oh.
this stuff.
This?
Now, the beautiful thing is that you're not going to need this entire length. So do the best you can to get them even. I taped all mine to a piece of tape before I came and that really worked well. And I'm actually going to have to trim mine because they're a little crumpled. But again, we're going to trim that off. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
You have a lot of people talking in the back there. We need to make sure everybody can hear. I don't know, it sounds like an old school, Martin, but I know how frustrating that can be.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Jerry just dropped this off. Is this the same? Should I be using this?
Yeah,
Or should I
actually,
use some of this?
take several strands of that, cut it right down to the base of the cardboard and get as much length as you can.
Okay.
Now, basically, you're gonna grab it in approximately halfway. So it's just hanging. Again, it's not an exact science with this because we're gonna be trimming off those ends anyway, but you want it approximately at the halfway point. Because that's what we're gonna tie in. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Meg,
Okay.
how many strands do you need for this?
3 to 4 of each color. The colors that are recommended for the pattern are copper, gold, and kind of a pearl flashaboo. Those are the night, and if you're in a hurry or tonight you don't have all that, just grab a nice handful of a color that would look like flash. Silver would be fine, gold. If you have copper, it's really cool because we're imitating a brown trout minnow. So
I'm dispersed a lot of color, but it's not flashable. It's crystal flash, but I think it'll work.
okay, so you want to wrap your thread. You want to lay a thread base for your flash. If I'm going to go about halfway or just a little closer to the cone, because you're going to tie that flashaboo in a little just beyond the cone. And then we're going to, once we get it in place, this may or may not show up because of my hands, but it will in a minute. Oops, what do we got here? Basically lay your flashaboo across the hook. Let me put my finger out of the way. Does that help? Yeah, let's see that. Oh, excuse me, I'm left-handed. I have to tie this in. Let's hear it for the Southpaws. Woo woo. Okay, so you're gonna take the half of the flashaboo and you're gonna stroke it back on the one side, and then a wrap, and then you're gonna bring the other half around to the other side, and again wrap right up as close and as tightly as you can to the cone. Kind of secure everything. Now I have a keep here. That's why I use this. I have had people tell me that these are like little mini hair clips that you can get in the store, that they work okay for this. They're a little bit too wide and they do come loose. So, but for a lot of other things, if you don't have a materials holder, these little guys actually work pretty well. Little tip I learned from our ladies out there that tie with the Fly Girls. Okay, so once you're ready, a couple of these are in the way. You really do want to try to get these out of the way as much as you can. If you need to put a paper clip or a piece of tape, anything, because once you start tying the other materials, they're going to want to fall forward and get in your way a lot. Do you want a hair clip here?
I just want to, when you're pulling it back, is it supposed to go on top or is it just supposed to go evenly around?
It's eventually going to kind of be on top anyway. It's actually half of it goes to the left side, half of it comes to the right. But
Okay.
once you start kind of gathering it up, it all kind of winds up.
Okay.
It'll all fall into place once the fly is finished.
I'm gonna be some real spring back here.
Yeah, this spring is wonderful. Yeah, put that in the spring.
So use it. Yeah.
Just don't get cheese on
Yeah.
it.
Promises.
We have pizza tonight.
Really like it.
All right, so we're gonna keep going. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to make a second one. We'll see how time is allowing. Okay, so I've prepared. You should have a marabou feather in your kits. Tan color. Now, what I've done is I've already stripped off quite a bit of the excess that you're not going to need. So the important thing when preparing this is that you want only the part of the stem where it starts to narrow. And the rest of it, you're going to uncover and remove your excess. The reason being is we're going to wrap this around that hook in very tight little turns. And it's got to be flexible enough to do that. Otherwise, you get down here to the thick part of the stem, you're wrecked. It doesn't work. So the next thing, and this is just as if you were going to tie a soft hackle. I can't see where my hands, I think I'm better back here. So you're going to pull that back just like you would for a soft hackle fly. I keep forgetting we're backwards. Take your fingers and moisten those ends.
I'm sorry. How much do you do? Oh.
enough to, so you've got a little bit of a stem. You don't want to take the very tip, it's gonna come off right away. Plus, I'm gonna show you another little trick. So hopefully it won't come out.
Off the stem.
Yeah, you're gonna basically have what you're gonna have after we get it in the vise, in the hook. We will cut that stem down so you can wrap more easily. But leave it for right now.
So you want to stop.
Leave the thick part on for now. But you're gonna tie it in by the tip of the feather. So you can trim that tip off a little. It's pretty long. Ah,
No,
right is left and left is right.
okay, I did it.
Okay. You want to leave enough. Now, when you tie this in, you're actually going to tie, okay, Ken, you might want to catch this. This is important. Jerry, is there any way to get this, here, I think I can do
People
it.
off of there.
Yeah, because I can't see
We
what
can
I'm
take them
doing.
off with you.
I apologize, folks.
Goodbye, Bob. Goodbye.
We're not erasing them. Beautiful. Now I can see. Because they need to see this. You're gonna stroke back your tie it in by the tip.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm confused.
Did I not make it? Okay, what's confusing people?
So you just trim the tip down, so.
Yeah, because other than this monster piece sticking out. This we're gonna cut off.
Oh.
The bottom will be cut off. It'll be easier to wrap, but you're tying it in just like you're tying in a partridge soft hackle. You peel back, leave yourself a tip, then trim, wet that down. Okay, does that make more sense? If you need more marabou, we have some more.
If you cut off the tip of your marabou.
Now, we're not gonna wrap, you're gonna wrap that tip in. I'm gonna show you, but then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna grab the feather a little further back to guarantee some extra grabbing power. So we're gonna tie it in, but then you wanna wrap back again up as tight as you can to that cone. So that's gonna wrap a little further back on your marabou. So it's not gonna pull out. And you can trim. If you want to stick a half hitch in there, it's fine. Tie him by the tip, wet that down. Here. Okay, and again, when you tie in any feather, if you're gonna wrap, the curved side of your feather should be facing down. If it's flipped upside down, you just tie it, flip it over. You've got time. This is where it gets fun. Okay, so now do take your scissors and trim off some of this thickness on the back side of your feather, just to make it a little easier to wrap. If you like hackle pliers, use your hackle pliers. You don't have to, because this is a nice big stem. I'm gonna do this just for the sake of. Okay, now I wrap my thread to about the halfway mark in the front. Again, from here forward, try to make sure you leave that bare, because you're going to need that space after a couple of these steps are finished. So here we go. You can actually moisten your fingers a little bit, lay your hook, and start to wrap. These are ends. Can you guys hear me okay? You're gonna wrap these feather wraps close to each other, but not on top of each other. They're gonna be end to end, but it shouldn't only, you're gonna probably only need about 3 or 4 of these. What we're doing is we're forming the top of the fly, the body. And hopefully if you strip the feather down the right way. I haven't, I'm gonna cut mine. I'm actually going to trim off some more of the marabou off the stem, because basically I want right where the stem starts to get a little bit thicker, I want all that to be bare. So that all I'm tying in is the skinny part, but you should tie in a, yeah, this is gonna be close. Again, just stroke it back, be careful of your hook barb, I was screaming ouch last night. Okay. I am gonna trim this just a wee bit more, just for the sake of not overcrowding the front, and then we're gonna tie it in. Can anybody see what I'm doing? Instead of pulling, don't try to pull the extra marabou out, because you pull the whole thing apart. Just take your scissors and trim so that you're wrapping to the bare stem. Ouch. There we go. Can you see the bare stem? Here we go.
Saw it for a second, and then you went over the top, you could see it. And bring it, hold it up, you can see it there. There you go.
So I'm gonna tie that off. I forgot to bring my beeswax for anybody that needs their hook point covered. So it's just a couple of wraps to secure that marabou. So now I'm going to go ahead and trim my bare stem. And hopefully, if I've done this right, I have about half of the hook length left. The hook, from the hook to the eye. Okay, so you're going to wrap that back all the way back as close as you can to that cone. And that cone is going to be kind of like your anchor point where you're tying everything in. Snug, snug, snug up against that, and again, see how we have some more space now. I think some that Selena's bleeding over here.
I got people waiting. Hang on.
Okay, I'm gonna pause just for a minute, let everybody. Thanks for catching that. I'll learn this.
Did you see any of them who didn't let them in?
I don't, I'm. Just page down. No, I think everybody's in.
No, somebody's
Oh, there's-
waiting. Where?
Oh, no, that's okay. I don't see anybody, Jerry.
I see.
It takes some time to get that. Believe me, I've been practicing for a while. It's not easy. And it's just a lot of stuff.
Ralph says he's waiting.
Where? No, it just says.
He gave me, he gave me a message.
Oh.
Waiting.
Jerry, I'm on now. There were three of
Okay,
us that
thanks,
were using
Ralph.
the wrong
Okay.
Zoom link.
We do not want to lose anybody here.
No.
I can barely
Don't
hear.
want any losers.
How can I turn the sound up so I can hear them a little better on Zoom? I can't hardly hear when they're talking to me.
Yeah, they can hear. They can hear you.
They
The
can hear me,
speaker-
but I can't hear them if they're asking me a question. Do you have your volume?
I can hear, wow, we can make this louder.
Oh, see, that's not, I'm hearing, I'm listening.
Full volume. If they talk.
Probably, wow, okay.
Can
Now-
you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good because then folks in the room here can also hear questions. So now you're going to want to pick up your marabou carefully. Try not to stab yourself. You want it all on kind of up on the top and then just lay it down. And then you're going to take your rubbing brush, toothbrush, hairbrush, cat brush, whatever you have laying around, and stroke that back. And again, I'm just going to keep securing my slash. And let me just make sure. Okay, so we're ready to tie the belly, the back side, the underside. So you're actually going to flip this over. And then, or if you need to take the hook out of the vise, turn it upside down. That works. And just kind of stroke your fibers down. I've actually known to just take this and hold it like that with a little clip.
Yeah.
Keeps it out of my way,
Yeah,
just for the sake of demonstration.
brands a whole bunch.
Yeah, they're little mini hair clips that you can get on Amazon or they're really nice. We're gonna fluff all that anyway. I hear something. Did somebody ask you a question?
Stems of flowers. Do a like stage, a really tiny. They don't want.
Somebody cutting it now.
This, that would just be fun. Hold everything down.
If you moisten this, it's okay. It will fluff right back up, trust me. Okay, so we're gonna take a piece of Arctic fox or fin raccoon, which is what I'm gonna use tonight. I've already cut some. And I'll see if I can get it out of there. Okay. This is way too long. See, that's gonna be really long. The back of your tips. Okay, guys, I need you to stop talking. Sorry, people can't hear. I can't hear. And I apologize if I'm coming off rude. I don't mean to be.
Hey Meg,
Yes,
in our packet, there's a gray colored fur and one that's tan. Which one should we be using?
the tan should be on a zonker and the other fur is probably silver fox. We did not have enough white Arctic fox. If you have some at home, please feel free to substitute. But the silver fox works. It actually makes a very attractive fly as well.
Okay, so the one that's on the the tanner would be the one we're using. Correct?
So I'm gonna, can I enlarge, maybe I can have him hold it up.
Okay.
I just don't have the touch here. I can't even,
Is it that one? Can you see me or no?
you're gonna have to put it up. I can't see because my fingers are obviously
Hang on, Bob.
lacking electrostatic charge. I don't seem to be able to do anything. Okay. One of the pieces will be on a zonker. It's kind of white and
There's Bob.
fluffier.
Hold it up
The
again,
other one
Bob.
is gonna be more soft.
Bob, can you hold that up?
Yeah. It's on a zonker.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Yeah, it is a silver gray. It
Yeah.
should be soft like
It
a.
was pretty
Arctic
long.
fox.
That's all we had at the time.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
And
specimen.
then we went into Bob Webb stuff and found something. It looks like dog fur, that it works.
Would she quit saying that?
Okay, thanks.
You want to measure so that the tips and the ends. I'll let you do that's okay. Okay, so the tips are gonna basically extend about the same length back as your marabou. Right now, our marabou is kind of laying flat, but just beyond the hook point. This gets really fluffy and pretty, so it doesn't have, again, to be an exact science, but you want to be, you don't want it back here. You want it pretty much even with the hook bend or extending a little further back behind you. So then you're going to trim off whatever excess extra length that you have on that Arctic fox sample, whatever you have. So it's going to be a short little nubby like that. And again, if you have, just use your fingernails to, oops, pick it out, stack it a little bit. I think I'm going to need just a tiny bit more. Mine is a little short here. Or a little thick, not thick enough. You want enough.
Right here, I'm waiting for her
Now, the important thing in this is when you tie
to.
this,
Switch glasses.
when you tie this in, you want to try to keep the two colors separated. It just makes a prettier fly. So try to keep the bottom on the bottom, and I'll show you a couple little tricks to try and help you with that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna pinch wrap. Okay, now I have to take this clip off because it's covered up all my thread. Okay, I'm gonna pinch wrap. And just lay it down. And then once you got it in the place, you want to pull it back to try and leave space. I think some of mine is going to come out. That's okay. And again, try and lift it up. Be very careful of your hook point. I hear somebody moaning in pain over here from sticks. It is miserable. Once you get that tied in with a wrap, a loose wrap, you can go ahead and flip your hook back over. Trying to keep the two colors separated. Can you see how the two are separate as much as possible? Okay, now you're going to tie a very tiny thread head, but again, squeeze as close to that cone. Leave that front clear as much as you possibly can, because we've got more pieces to put on. So far, so good. Holding my breath. Okay, so again,
Yeah, we were supposed to slow it down.
trimming it just a little, this marabou will fluff out and it'll look great once we're finished. It isn't covering this up right now real well. Okay, so the next phase is the collar. Now this is going to be your tan Arctic fur fox. It's going to be on a zonker. Where is mine? Here it is. It should look like that. Should have a piece of zonker on it.
I don't know what zonker is.
Oh, the leather, like piece of, so you're going to take a small piece of this. Hello. I like this side better. So I'm going to take a piece.
I think I got that. Yeah, I got that.
Trim that off. And you want a bit of a bunch here because it's going to go all the way around. So it looks kind of fluffy right now.
And cut it off the level.
Don't cut it off this time. Leave this fuzzy end. You're going to need that.
Because yours is long.
So
Oh, yeah.
rather than being round, what you want to do is you actually want to make this flat. We're actually going to flatten this so that it,
Where's your zonker strike?
hang on, I cut it off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is, it's not round, it's actually more flattened.
Okay.
I have a little too much here, so I'm going to pinch,
So you're coming up with this zonker strike, okay.
cut it off this anchor strip
Yeah.
and then kind of unfold it so it's more like this, flatter. I think I might have pulled some marabou off. Okay, so now what you're gonna do with this, listen carefully. You're gonna take this and you're literally gonna wrap it around the hook. Very messy, but just do the best you can. Just gonna kind of secure it around the hook. Yeah, and you're gonna tie it down by coming up with a very loose wrap, just like you're gonna spin deer hair, okay? Very loose wrap down and then twist. See, spun around. And that makes your collar. Mine is really long. I'm gonna shorten this up just a little bit so I can show you again. Yeah, and that's only supposed to go about halfway back. So I'm actually going to cut some length off of mine. It's a little bumpy. We're going to cut off a lot of it too. So don't cut too much off. Okay, here we go. Round.
Thank you. Do you want to spin that or do you want to?
That's what I'm doing basically. Yeah, that's why you're wrapping it around the hook. You're not just. I can show you. No, that's not going to work. soft. Not easy. Loose wrap up, loose wrap down, and tighten it up. Yeah, so I say,
Got it.
and then down. It's a very interesting fly, but there's a lot to it. Okay, so once you feel like you've got your thread in place, this is kind of a two-part cut. So we're gonna cut the top part.
You're way off screen.
Okay, I'll put it back where it was.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank you.
cut. Hopefully, if it's gone all the way around your hook, which looks like. Now you're gonna trim, be careful not to cut your thread. You're gonna cut off this bulk. Now, it's okay for this to look pretty crowded in the front. That's the last of the really heavy stuff we're gonna put on. So that my collar and do your best, don't sweat it. There's only one part left. And again, tie this down. You're gonna actually go ahead and secure it a bit. And again, don't wrap onto that bare part. You're gonna need, that's your final, that's gonna be like your final thread head to finish it off. Okay. Can you see that? Okay, so this is basically building the beginning of if it'll stay. A thread head. Again, here's where you're gonna try and get that thread back against that hook. You might have to reach down and feel that cone. Bring it up as close to the cone as you can. And sorry about the bloody fingers. Yeah. So that does give, as you can see, it's starting to build the fly. But it's the cone is what gives this thing bulk, so it's not super heavy. It gives it volume. Mine could look a little better in the front, but okay, so last, you're gonna take some UV eye stub tan. You should have it in your packet. And Charlie Craven went through a whole bunch of rigmarole about pulling it apart and stacking it and pulling it apart and stacking it. I don't think you gotta do all that. Just grab a chunk. Keep it kind of flattened out. So now, again, you're gonna do basically the same thing. You're gonna wrap it around the hook. I think it has to go front to back lengthwise. Here. One loose wrap. One loose wrap. Spin it a little bit if you can. And we want to try and get this. Oops. See, I even.
Is tied it over the other wraps or over this, over the bare spot?
You're basically going to get into that bare spot no matter what. So, yeah. Again, try to leave what you can. You're going to push this back. Now, I've had not the greatest success getting my face completely distributed around, but that actually doesn't look too bad. I think it's more supposed to be on the front, but you can take your fingers and kind of groom that around. That little bit of sparkle apparently really adds a lot to this fly.
Is it, it's supposed to go all the way around?
Yeah, well, I'm losing my thread here. I'm going to throw in a half hitch because I don't want to embarrass myself. We've come so far. Up until last night, I was lost. I really was. I was. That or a half hitch might even work better than a good finish, but I'm just trying to get a couple in there so I don't lose it. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I try to bring those around.
This stuff's pretty forgiving. You can take it out and just secure your thread.
We're finished.
Just to, yeah, half hitch, just to hold it for a minute, because you are still good, but then here's the fun part, you're gonna start grooming your pretty hair all back. See how it's all nicely blending together? It's a really pretty fly, it's really cute.
Your flashlight, this stuff.
I'm afraid I lost a little bit of my belly fur down there, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's just, it's not like.
Okay, so now go ahead and make a small thread head, just a couple, just a little button in the front, just to finish it, make it look nice. Yeah, it's just, yeah, and then what, that's where this monocord, this type of thread that I'm using really comes in handy, because it's super tough, but it doesn't add a lot of bulk. So it really makes the fly nice. Okay, we can, once you're tied off there. Okay, now. Jerry,
ma'am.
anybody that wants to use that, if you could hand me that little dish, the other one, the empty one.
And a tea.
Looking for mine. There you
We're gonna pass this around. This is a product called Tear Mender. You can just put it on a little piece of paper. This is the really great, I think he said it's latex. Comes in the biggest bottles. I'm gonna hold this up. It's Tear Mender. And actually had some that was dried in my dish before I brought it here. And it came out like a piece of plastic. It just peeled right off of there. It's kind of interesting. But it's very sticky and it really works. So we'll pass this around. I think Jerry's gonna get some. I'm just gonna put a little in a dish here, so I have enough to dip my bodkin in. Go ahead and take out your eyes. You should have a set of eyeballs. I think Selena's are in her pizza. Okay. So you want to find your bodkin. Thank God I had it behind me.
Wait, my.
Okay, so I'm just gonna dip my bodkin. You're gonna hear a little noise. We're passing around this Tear Mender.
You just walked away with my eyeball, Gary. Yeah.
I remember you.
That's not quite the same stuff. You guys can pass this around. I have enough for a lifetime. Jerry,
Yes, ma'am.
you can pass this one around too. This is the actual,
What we got going too.
is it pretty similar? Okay.
Maybe,
Once you're ready, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, but we'll, basically, you're gonna go up behind the cylinder, fill that cone, lift up, and you're gonna put that eye basically just right in front of the cone. It's gonna take a little bit of your Tear Mender.
I'm sorry.
A little bit too hectic here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on so it doesn't get too sticky. Yeah, you just need a tiny dot of it on your bodkin. You're gonna choose the spot to put your eye on. I'll just go ahead and put one on and then I'll wait. So there's our little guy. Number one.
I'll come back to you.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
That's the final. They're asking about trimming the Flashaboo. We're almost there.
I still don't have the eye.
I just want to make sure everybody has glue before we do the other side. This stuff will stay wet for a little while, so we'll be fine. If anybody brought a marker with them, feel free to use it. If you brought, I've got the actual Prismacolors because I wanted to do it like by the book, so you can see what it looks like. It's very pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one on. So again, just dipping my bodkin. Don't need much. And again, you're gonna turn this over, kind of eyeball where your one eye is already, and then just basically go to the other side. Put a little more tear mender there. Don't spill this stuff, it'll be all over you, as sticky as sin, and it's very sticky, kind of messy. So, little tip here, you're gonna go ahead and put the other eye on. And then, you know, you can turn your little guy, because mine's one's a little too far forward.
Yes.
Doesn't take long. So
Yeah. It's a special request.
you're gonna pinch them together, the eyes together, like actually like lift up the fur, line up your eyes. See, mine are slow. And actually pinch them together. That'll help secure them. Almost like you're gluing them to each other. Sorry.
Okay.
Happy little fish. Yeah, this is a brown trout. You can tie this in a number of colors. I haven't really learned some of the other color patterns, but I love these. I would think we tie them a little smaller in the driftless, and we probably have a nice bait fish for spring. It's weighted, it should go down and. Okay, so when you're finished with your glue, take your time. I'm just gonna lift my little guy out here. And we're gonna trim this flashaboo to the same, essentially the same length as. You're gonna trim your flashaboo to the same length as the back of your marabou. But you're gonna cut it kind of like a barber does. You're not gonna cut them all exactly the same length. So we're gonna cut them to the length of the marabou where the back extends, but unevenly, a little staggered.
That you tied off, right? You cut your thread.
Yes. Not the easiest, but don't give up on this fly. It's really fun once you've done it a few times. It's so much fun to make. And they really are impressive. And my husband's like, ooh. Now you can make them with the barred marabou. A whole different, well, it's something he can actually see. I usually show him my flies and they're about the size of my fingernail. And he just looks at me with this. I'm just gonna put this guy with the marabou that I made.
Will this color work?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice one. I'm just gonna hold him up for a minute until everybody's done with their eyes. Is everybody done with their eyes? Close enough. Okay, so we're gonna put that fly back. And here comes the artistic part. The company called Prisma Color. It makes it beautiful. These are really nice. They're markers. I did get mine on Amazon. Prisma Color. And this is the orange. Mhm. This one's kind of a pretty orange color. The first one we're going to use is called sepia. And it really is kind of a sepia color. There, you can actually see the band on the end of the Prisma color. That actually is about what it looks like there. Okay. He says to use the broad side of the marker. I'm not that brave. So I take the narrower side. And I'm just going to go through this. Don't worry about trying to do it tonight. This fish actually looks very cool just the way he is, but this is the artistic part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch all the fur back. And now I'm going to take my marker and start at the top and just draw lines down. Now I'm just going to do this side first because I can see it. And you're not going to go through the whole marabou. Just right now, we just want to get the face. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. You can see. Isn't that fun? Yeah. And then you're going to do the other side. I'm going to try to do this. Yeah, tire tracks. do try to space these. You can make them as narrow as you want. Or, you know, further apart. So right now, we're just focusing on this face, the face part, not all the way back. You're really not gonna bring the lines all the way down on the bottom fur. Just this face. So then when you're finished with that. Is that working? Oh, mine's not quite. I couldn't see what I was doing. I'm doing it blind here.
Okay.
Okay, so then last, you're gonna take the top, just the marabou. Okay, leave this alone. Don't try to draw on that and just stretch the marabou back. Make a few more lines to your heart's content. And then this marker, this Prisma marker does not seep through, so that's why you have to do it on both sides. Some of your other markers might run a little bit. Again, just focusing on the top of your marabou, the tan portion. There he goes. If anybody wants to try this, you're welcome to it. Now the last little, we're gonna put a little face on the cheek with the orange. Yeah, we're gonna draw a smiley face. It's all over. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna turn him upside down. And then you're just gonna color you're gonna color the bottom around the, I'm gonna just show you before you maybe more. If you want to try it, I've got the orange marker, we can play with it later.
Yes.
It gives them just a finishing touch there. And you call them like a cheek or just there. See how that adds color. And then very top, again, I stick with my skinny side. I'm just gonna draw. If you look at a baby minnow, it does have this dark line. You're to start at the thread and just color it back a little. That adds a little more. That's it. Done, done, done. And then again, you would. I heard that. Okay, let me get out of the way. Oh, anybody want to try the markers? You're welcome.
Actually, I got one.
Please take them both and then just pass them around. So that's sepia, yeah. It's that kind of a grayish brown. Sorry. Depends on whether you went to art school. Art school. The Charlie Craven video is excellent. He walks through every step of this. I basically took a lot of notes to try to follow it as closely as I could. But I'm not sure how to try some of the other trout patterns, but frankly, we're the driftless, so I would definitely give this a shot. I'm gonna start cleaning up my mess here.
While you're finishing up, your attention for a second, up here, I've got a whole bunch of here and there, and God knows what in these bags. You're welcome to tear through it. $2 a piece.
Just for those out there, it's the holographic eyes. I use
Take
it
all your free.
or pattern recommends, this is for the Zoom folks, a 3/16 inch holographic.
Travel vice. Beautiful. It's in great shape, except it needs an O-ring on the back. With the O-ring worn out of cotton. No, I'm asking for bids on it. I'm hoping to get $100 out of it. But we'll see the highest bidder.
I'm gonna get up.
Take a look at this. If you're in the market for a nice Renzetti travel, this is a view. I found it in the box Pete gave to me of all these things. And it's too nice for the raffle at the chapter, but I thought this is the place to sell it. And I use that goes for you fly tires at home. There's a Renzetti here. That's a travel vice. If anybody is interested in it, give me a price on it. I'd like to get 100, but I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder tonight. So,
Hey, Jerry,
what's that?
Jerry, it's Bruce. Can you put that on the camera real quick so we all can see it?
I will do that. I hope.
Jerry, is it a pedestal or clamp?
I will try to do that. Let's see what I can do, guys.
Yeah, it's got a
Meg, I'm
pedestal.
gonna move this out for a second this way. And there we go.
Okay.
It's a little bit out of focus and I will focus it up for you here. Don't go well. Focus. Probably in that. direction. There we go. And it's in really good shape. We got the nice little bobbin rest here, and it has a nice base on it. Like I said, the only thing that needs replaced is that little O-ring that holds the jaw open when you put something in it. Other than that, this is a winner. I tried it today. It worked very nicely. You have your material spring there. So if somebody would like it out there, let me know. And we're here. I have one person interested, but not willing to pay 100. So if you have a bid offer, let me know. Okay. So now that Meg did the easy fly, I'm going to do something a little harder. Like
That's like 175 new.
what?
It's like 175 new. $175 new.
You're 185, 185 new. Yes, they are.
Repairs, repair.
Yeah, so
4 years ago. Right. I don't know.
if you're interested,
It's made in the USA.
Can I have my cushion?
no.
Damn.
That was pretty good.
Amazon,
Okay, Meg just stole my cushion,
his cushion, my cushion.
put on the chair, making me sitting in this hard
Makes
place.
a difference when you get older.
All right. I'm gonna get the
Okay.
focus back to normal here, maybe.
Show him the bib you made.
What was that?
Show him that bib you made.
Can we say something out there in Zoom land?
I said, I show them the bib you made for me to wear tonight. The bib. Show them.
I'm gonna try it. Yeah, we're gonna try this bib.
The next we have is
Yeah.
1928.
We'll just hang in there. We're shifting gears here. And
Yeah, Jerry Ward will tell you.
see how this bib works. Go back.
Is it a clear bib? Hi, Meg.
Up there.
I guess you can hear it now.
Well, it's a different color bib than,
Hello out there
hi.
in video land. Can I have your attention out in video Zoom land?
Yes, you got
How
it.
are we looking with this black background?
That black? It looks fine.
Yeah, it looks good, Jerry.
You don't know what the wide's gonna look like.
That good?
As long as you don't put black stuff in front of it.
Okay. I'm gonna switch this around to the way I tie, like that. And how was the picture tonight? Was it pretty good from when Meg was tying?
When we finally got on, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes, look good.
It was good.
Yeah. You've got my video off, Jerry.
What's that, Bob?
Denny, you have my video
disabled.
Okay, great.
Mine too, Jerry.
What's that?
Mine's disabled too.
Couldn't hear what he said much.
Oh,
Say it one more time. What are you looking for?
Turn our videos back on.
Jerry, step around on the-
They can't hear any better than
Say
I
it one
can.
more time, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sitting across the room. Here. What was the question? One more time. Sorry.
my video is disabled.
So is mine.
Oh, people have disabled videos.
What's that?
They've disabled the videos. Did we disable them?
We disabled your video. Well, we shouldn't do that.
That or your
Let's
connection?
try a new share.
No, that won't.
I think Bob and I have good faces.
Right here,
Try that.
start video.
Start video. Here, Jerry.
It's been off all night. Can you see now?
No, I can see, but I'm hidden.
Right.
Oh, they're
They're
hidden.
hidden.
If they can't see themselves, I guess. or
Yeah,
something.
you guys are hidden because it's easier to see what they're doing.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah, my
Yeah,
voice
you
was
can't see yourselves. I can put you back on.
back up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was just, I couldn't see that.
yeah. Meg,
All right.
Meg's stuff was so big that we couldn't. We'll see if I can get that back.
That's okay. Hey, Bob and I have good faces for radio.
There's everybody and now I don't have a share. Okay, now I can see everybody, but you can't see anything in the share, so
Correct.
don't go away on that.
Says that you have stopped, Jerry.
We're gonna go back to the camera here in a second. Get rid of this.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't.
I'm trying to get you back, guys. Don't go away.
Hold on, if you can see him. Hi. Main thing.
I think it's the mountain time thing.
Yeah.
I'll try to get you back. But it's not easy. Here we go. Let's see what that does.
I guess it's really no big
We don't
deal.
want
Jerry.
that
Yeah.
for-
It's really not important.
Yeah, I can't find you again, so I don't know where to find you from. Let's just go back to the, I'd love to see you all, but without Scott here, I'm at a loss sometimes. And participants, let's see, invite. No, sorry. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna give up.
No worries.
I tried.
Talk to Darwin over.
I need to get things set up, so just hang in there for a second, please.
School things set up for May 16th and 17th. We picked 16th, it's this elementary school in McHenry is fly tying and casting with the kids. So
we'll send out an announcement, I'm sure, I just want to let you know. Like May 16th, I signed our chapter.
If you can let it do it, please.
Yeah, so
Oh, nope, I just clicked out everybody. Where'd it go? Oh my God, how do I get back to it now? Did I just click out it? Where are you guys? There you are. I didn't realize.
From 8:30 to 2 on the 16th.
No, that's not it.
And
Why does it keep doing?
you've got all these classes of kids.
Okay.
So.
Where how do you get to the screen behind? He's got like the. And I thought it was at the control, but it's not. Tell me that. Yeah, can you minimize that? Because I think they're on that.
You can't get your receipt.
Yeah, school said they really liked it and they wanted.
It's just share.
And 10 problems a teacher. I'm thinking. Yeah, dude, give me the odds.
No,
How many kids? you
forget
can
that
show?
part.
You know, I think we.
Why don't you just take and forget about it and. Yeah, I'm going to, as soon as I can get you all back.
Just make it so we can see you tying.
I'll get it. Don't worry. I know what to do.
Okay,
Don't get nervous. I'm not.
okay, good.
There we go. Forget it. I can't see you guys. I wish I could. God knows I wish I could see all of you.
No, the one at the house.
But we can't see you yet.
This one's in May.
Okay, let's get this thing zoomed in again.
Right off of 2176. 120. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to the medicine. You can say.
No, nothing here.
Okay, good.
If I can rest my feet here.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. So I just, throw that out there. It's like, oh, this is a perfect fruit.
All righty, we're gonna get started. I'm sorry I can't see you guys because I really would like to, but I'll play with that later.
Jerry, we cannot see you.
What? We can't
We-
see you. Oh, no. You can't see what's going on? That's
Yeah, your video's turned off.
okay. Let's try a share here and see what happens.
Start video.
He said it's been off the whole night.
How's
There you
that?
go.
There you go.
Good. There.
Can you expand the
guys.
screen?
Thanks for the feedback real quick, Bob. All right, like I said, this one's gonna be a lot harder. Well, a little bit easier here, thank you.
Easier than the video?
The Holy Grail. And you should have about a 14 hook to start out with. And you can use curved or straight. I'm gonna pick up a nice curved one tonight. And it's gonna have a nice tungsten bead on it. So if you want to, if you pick up that bead that you had in your kit and grab it and put it on the hook. Okay, here it comes. I like to do it with a bead holder. We lose less beads that way. So I put it right on. Would you like that a little bit bigger?
Yes, please.
Okay. Don't go away. Take a second.
Okay.
Okay.
So we should zoom this in. Not better?
Much better, yes. Perfect.
That more like it?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thanks. Thanks, guys. How's it up there? Okay, pretty good. All right. You can pick a thread, a brown or an olive, doesn't matter. This is going to be an emerger pattern for a caddis. And that's what the whole idea is an emerging caddis. So LaFontaine came up with the idea of this trilobal material, Antron, that he used over the years, and he made a bubble out of it. It's a little bit difficult to tie, and so people have been looking around for substitutes for it for a long time. And we're going to use a little bit of tinsel for it tonight. So if you want to get started, we'll start wrapping your thread. And again, this pattern is going to have have the bead, not at the head, but part way back, a little bit back, a little bit about like so. Whoop. And I'm going to anchor it right now, okay? So I'm going to start a spot behind and bring that bead back with my fingers. And you have to, I can't do this to show you any better than that. That's probably the best way. Right there, jump that thread over and bring that bead a little bit short of the eye, because we're going to need that space. That's where we're going to put a partridge feather back there in the front. Okay, so you can come back and you secure that on both sides. Now, when I'm doing the roadkill skunk with a heavy duty tungsten bead, and I mean a big tungsten bead, I found out that it's a good idea to do this on both sides, right at the head on that, to keep it from jumping backwards. So it's just a little hint when you're doing a heavy tungsten bead, you might want to consider anchoring it just like this. All right. We're going to continue wrapping back to the bend almost. And I'm going to get almost there and stop and get out a piece of, wow, that's bright. This is tinsel. You've got it in your kit. It's very thin and very small tinsel. And I don't know how well this will show up on your screen, but we're going to hook in a little bit excess on that to the, so it sticks out over the front for a particular reason. In a moment, you'll see why. Okay, so I'm going to wind that back to the back and into the bend a little bit and cut that tinsel off. And of course, it springs up. I'm going to bury it in my material spring.
Hey, Jerry,
Yeah,
is that silver or gold?
what's that?
The tinsel, silver or gold?
It's a pearl. Silver,
Okay.
pearl's better. Something with even a holographic gold, but silver is going to imitate the air bubble that caddis get under their wings as they're coming up. And that's what Gary did.
Can I sign it? Yes.
So I'm now going to wrap forward, come up behind that bead and capture that tinsel. And again, jump over the bead and capture the tinsel right over the front. To use it as part of the anchoring system, which ain't easy. There it goes. This is Tim Flager's way of doing it. I
What?
thought that's a cool idea.
No, it sounds
And
good.
we're going to jump back.
But not ours.
Oh, yeah, I know. he
Go
can
back
make
to
it,
the
but-
bend and rest. So we went forward, over, behind the bead, tightened up, took that tinsel over the top of the bead, tightened up in front of the bead with that thread, and went back over. And that's where we're at.
Did you trim that little tack in the front then?
Hmm?
Did you trim it down or did you cut it?
I just cut it off.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, you can pretty much just cut that off. You can turn it down and wrap over it, but this is such small tinsel, I find it pretty hard to do that. So that's where you're at. Okay, so if you have a material holder, leave that tinsel out the back. We're going to get to it in a second. The next is, if you can read backwards real well, this is here's your, or here's mass, here's mass dubbing. Which is backwards, of course, you only have to read backwards to figure that out. Dark or light, it doesn't seem to matter. And one of the flies I tied to test this out, I actually, I don't know if you can see it. I used dark color to represent the gramen or the black caddis that we see here in the springtime. And there is an excellent video about caddis in Wisconsin that I found today on the Scientific Fly Angler, Jason Freund's blog. This is, I'm going to put this up afterwards for you to share, to look at. This is about an hour program on caddis. The guy is really good. And it's a treatise on caddis, and it was done for the one of the clubs in Wisconsin. I recommend you take a look at it. I'll get it up there and try to get the correct link. Okay, today we had a little trouble with the linkage, but I think we can get this one for you. And it's pretty good. So right now I'm putting some dubbing wax on here. This is BT's dubbing wax, and I'm just putting a light amount on there to get it that thread, but my wax is a little dry, so I'm really putting some on. And now you want to take and dub a noodle of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on here, and we're going to go up towards that eye, I'm sorry, going up towards the bead, but we're not going to get right to the bead. We're going to stay back of it just a bit. Okay. Now, one trick when you're dubbing and if you're having trouble with it slipping, don't forget to take that dubbing wax and get some on your finger. Not like I just did, because mine was dried at the top. And once you get it on your finger, you don't really have a problem twisting it. It really tightens up. The other trick you can do is you grab that dubbing with your fingers at the top of your bodkin and twist. You can twist it up really tightly. You can get a lot better than you can get with your finger. Keeping this pretty sparse at the back, and want to increase this diameter towards the front to make a tapered body. Here comes too much thickness, so I really got this thin. This is the way I really like to see it. Now, there's a space here between the two. I don't know if you could see it on the TV or not, but we've got it spaced out so that there's no dubbing up against that bead. Now I had a pheasant tail. So just a plain pheasant tail, grab about 7 or 8 fibers from it. I like to cut it off from the get-go. It's better than having to trim it off later. So we're going to put that right up against there. Whoop, excuse me, I lied. We're going to do this tinsel first. We're going to get about 5 wraps of this tinsel on here, all the way up to that spot. And then I'm going to tie that off in that blank spot and cut it, trim it. Okay, so we've got the tinsel. Got a lot of hair sticking out, so I'm gonna trim some off so you can see better. It's closer, but we'll see how the focus goes here. So we've got our tinsel wrapped on here. Which one? That's about as good as we're gonna get that, right, like that. Tinsel's up, I have a space here, I'm gonna take those pheasant tail fibers and put the tips of them, the base tips of those, not the end tip, right down in that groove and wrap them in, nice and tight. Okay, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna take a little bit more of that dubbing, put it on a thread and redub it. Right in front of where we tied in the pheasant tail fibers. Like so. There we go. So that's going to be our thorax. And a wing case is by pulling the pheasant tail fibers over and down and in front of that bead. So again, we're going to jump the thread on that bead to the front. And I'm going to pull down. Capture. And I'm going to push that thread right back against that bead so we have a base. So that's where our partridge feather is going to go. Trim it up and off. And that's what it looks like, a fuzzy mess. A little better. How are you guys doing here?
What?
How are you guys here? Everybody with or without me?
Yeah.
Don't take off the.
Oh.
No, it's the old Bob Webb. Thought you'd remember that.
Definitely done that.
Okay. I missed that. It's an old joke. Folks, so I'll let you catch up while I finagle some nice looking partridge feather.
Just where we need it.
Probably another one. If you want.
Sometimes that has all her beads and hooks. Has all your beads and hooks. Oh my God. Yeah. You guys made these things, like they not, and all.
We're not done with that. We have to get to the partridge feather.
Wait, what are you doing?
Did you put the partridge feather on?
Not yet,
Okay,
going to.
I thought maybe you were thinking you were done.
No, I'm waiting on folks back, make sure everybody's with me.
They've already cut everything off, so.
Now I can see them. Now they show up. Hi, Al. Hi, Gary. Hi, Bruce.
Hey,
Hi, Paul. Hi, Ron. Hi, Jenny.
This is how I see it on my class.
Hi, Corny. Hi, Arnie. Hello. Just checking who's out there tonight. Okay. Hi, Ralph. I saw Ralph. I talked to Ralph. Well, we don't have. There we go. Right.
I'm just basically, everything that I just have time.
You guys doing out there, okay?
I'm good.
Good. All right. All right, now we're gonna wind on a partridge feather. Somewhat similar to how Meg just wound on that marabou feather. Okay, only it's gonna be much smaller. If I figure out where I just put it. Let's see. There's one. I had a nice one. And you can use a pretty big one on this. It doesn't have to be super small. It's not going to be super sized. In fact, I'd like to find the one I had, which I thought was about right. I'll get another. There's one. Brown or gray, it doesn't matter. We're going to take that partridge feather, trim all the fuzz out of it at the bottom, just throw it away. We don't want that. Okay. And that's where we're going to start with that. And then we're going to grab the very tip top of it and pull down all that we can get to pull down and try to get it evenly, which I just ripped some off, I'm sorry to say. But we wanted to cut it that way, except for the part that's missing over here. That's not intentional. You take that and just like Meg did, cut that tip off a little bit. And I'm going to even this up just for looks. You don't have to worry about this. Okay. They can hear. Have to put tape, you know. Tape on. Okay. We're going to take that and trim that so it's very small. So, okay. I'm going to put that right on top with that little tip on top and capture it and wrap it. And I want it to the back.
Jerry, is that, you want that concave down?
So I want the what down, Bob?
The concave, the
Yeah,
feather
the concave side is
down.
towards the fly, yes. That way it's going to lay back over it. We want it to sort of surround it. Okay. Now for hackle pliers. If I only had a hackle plier.
Jerry.
Yeah. Let me see, I brought them like stuff. Very dear to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there to keep it.
Okay, I'll take your. I hope I didn't lose it. You can wrap either way, and there's no real specific direction that you have to have. It's kind of, when I look at a feather like this, I kind of say, which way is it going to roll? And in this case, I'm going to roll it this way. Another thing I read and looked at and haven't tried yet is cutting one side completely off of that. The fibers off of one side when you do it. I don't know how that will turn out, so I'm not going to experiment tonight. I just read that today. And we're going to do that. And then once I capture it, okay. We're going to go right back and push it backward with our thread by doing those wraps. Capture it, pull it back, pull back, and take your thread and wrap the head, pushing that back. And even a thumbnail now and then doesn't hurt to push it back, so you can keep that eye open. We've got to get that out of the way. Trim the stem off. So that, and then come in and whip finish with your whip finisher or your fingers, whichever you like to use. And trim a few out. And the video I looked at said they don't care how long these little fibers are coming back. I think that's pretty true. I also say, if you're tying this for the Grammon, for the April hatch of the black caddis, I would use something besides hare's ear. I would lean to the green side, and green and black, dubbing something with that color in it, because that's what that pupa coming out looks like. It's green and black. And when you see this, and I hope you do see it, this treatise that I'm going to share with you online about the caddis, he has some really great pictures of the Grammon caddis, the pupa and what they look like, and the coloration, because I always thought they're all black. They're not. They're black and green, and more green than black. So if the chimera is one color, it is more black, but it's less likely to be found around here. In Wisconsin, it's more like to be in the West, but there are what they're called the chimera, which are truly black in pupa stage. What we look at and we've seen over the years, if you see them on your windshield when you're fishing, or if you catch one in your hands, you take a really good look at it. He's got green in the body, the adult and the pupa. So if any of you remember the black mess fly that I did a couple of years ago, it's got green and black in it for that reason. It's not all solid black. So take a look at it when you can. In this video, I think it's an hour worth spent. Mark, you watched it today, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. And I'm also going to share, what I'm going to share with you is the Scientific Fly Fishers blog that you should take a look at. And in that, if you're reading it, you will find the connection in the video on YouTube about this hour-long thing on caddis, which really is really good. I've been fishing caddis a long time, and I learned a lot today. So I think it's well worth some time. All right, questions, problems? I think we're running a little late, so I'm not going to do another double of this. I think you guys got it pretty good. I'll tell you, next week, we're back to the regular schedule. And that's going to be number 4, which will be the GFA, the General Foam Attractor, and the Parachute Atoms, a dry parachute atom. And Gary, do you want to try to do that? The demo on that, or
Which one?
Hmm?
Parachute?
no, the foam attractor that was on the pick. Would you like to do that? Okay, so we'll get Jerry to tie that, and then I'll tie the parachute next week. Well, I hope you had some fun tonight. I know I did. I enjoyed watching Meg. And when you tie this next time, and if you're going to tie it for a black caddis, probably think about tying it on a 16 hook. We tied on 14 to make it easy tonight, but they're mostly size 16 and smaller. So don't forget to do that. All righty.
Thanks, Jer.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mag.
Jerry.
All right. Talk to me now. How you doing, Al?
Feel good.
Good. Bruce? Good to see you.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see you, Jerry. Thanks.
Good night. Good night,
Good
Denny.
night.
Thanks, Jerry.
Good night.
Hey, was the video better tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
Video was good.
Worked out well.
Okay.
Bye,
good.
Jerry.
Good night.
Bye, Jerry. Good night.
Good night, Tony.
See ya.
Bye, Jerry.
Nice fly.
Be good. Take care.
Take care, Jerry.
Really pretty on the blue shirt.
Yeah. Look at that pen, Jerry. Look at that pen. I gotta write some
Probably.
notes down. Not a big deal.
No, I'll get it somewhere. Sooner or later. Don't go away too fast and I'll find you.
So we have our meeting.